First of all, I want to welcome everyone to the BSN Spartan AMA, or Ask Me Anything. My name is Tim Bailey. I'm in charge of the international business for Red Date Technology, which is one of the founding members of the BSN. We have today with us Yifan He, who's the CEO of Red Date Technology. We welcome more questions. Please submit them on the Q&A. So welcome, Yifan. The first question that we have for you is a very basic one, which is, what is the BSN Spartan Network?
Okay, so basically, when we build the BSN, we truly believe in the blockchain technology. Because we started from China, so people always say, BSN is about permissioned blockchain. So actually, we believe in both permissioned and the public chains without crypto. Okay, always emphasize this. But because we don't treat blockchain technology as crypto technology, we treat that as one type of IT system. So which means, to us, permission is like internet. The public chain like internet. So it's just different form of infrastructure, and you just use whatever that fits your business needs and the requirements. So that's why, but how we integrate, public chains, we have one way is to integrate into our enterprise BSN. So, our customer who is the cloud services providers can, provide public chain nodes management capability on their cloud. Okay, but we also want to promote public chain as a public service, which means everybody can easily plug in, just like the traditional public chains. But the reason we launched Spartan, one of the major reasons is we really want, all the IT systems in the world to enjoy something like public chains, not only for the crypto applications, but the traditional public chain, have this kind of problem is they build the crypto into the layer one. So it's basically building a speculative assets into layer one, which means, no matter is you are a crypto application or traditional IT application, when you use public chains infrastructure, then you have to use crypto. So that actually, it's actually a very negative, in fact, for the public chain, for the crypto, because, the result is nobody want to use public chain as infrastructure. So that's actually against the fundamental, the term, everybody talk about is mass adoption because no one will use it, so there's no mass adoption. So, but, in BSN, we truly believe in public chain. We probably I even consider myself the true believer of public chain because I don't care about crypto. Most people are true believers of crypto, not public chains. Those two are two different things. So that's why, we think about, we thought about this, what's a strategy to attract, traditional IT system to use this kind of public chain, public IT systems. So the only solution is to take out the crypto. Okay, not really get rid of them. It's just move them from, layer one to layer two. Then, if there's application who never want, they will never use crypto. They just use, public chains as an infrastructure, pay the gas just like they are paying for the AWS resources fee. So then, everybody can enjoy public chain. But if some applications say, okay, we still want to integrate crypto into our application, then you call those layer two cryptos. Someone will issue cryptos on non-crypto public chain, and you still can call them to use them. So personally, even for the crypto industry, this is probably the only strategy for crypto to reach mass adoption. So that's basically why we try to launch the Spartan Network. The term I heard the most is without crypto, there's no public chain. Okay, so I, I think the term should be, if there's no public chain, there's no crypto. But you know, I think you know, the idea to and most crypto industry people, they don't care about the traditional IT, you know, industry. They just don't care. That's why, you know, the second most you know, asked the question to me from the crypto world is basically who are going to use crypto, who are going to use non-crypto public chains. You know, I say, no, come on, there's like 99.9999% of the IT system in the world don't even use crypto public chains. And then you ask me this question. So that's why, you know, we think, personally, I think it will take us like 2 years, 3 years, even convince people. You know, there's two groups of people in front of us right now. One group of people is the crypto people. There's just no way to convince them, you know, the non-crypto, you know, public chain makes sense. And the second group of people who is no idea what blockchain is. so basically in the whole world, nobody will support us. So it's really, really uphill. So we think, you know, Spartan is, you know, we need to solve the problem and treat this as a long game. Remember, the Spartan lost the battle. Okay, 300 of them all died, but who won the war? Grace still won the war at last. So that's why, you know, we the name means we really put in our effort, and we, you know, we even consider, you know, the whole project will die one day, but the whole concept of public IT system, the whole concept of non-crypto public chains will prevail one day.
Okay. But another question about the Spartan name. One of our viewers asked, what is the relationship between Spartan and the company's culture?
Really, there's no relationship besides what I just said. Okay, so I think it's nothing to do with the culture, but I think the number one reason is it's a name, you know, very easy to remember. You know, it's a marketing purpose. You know, because when you come up a name, it should be very easy to remember. If people, you know, listen to like 10 times still couldn't remember a name, it's bad marketing. It's like 10 times cost. So that's number one. The second one is, okay, the second reason, actually, you know, when I came up, I borrowed that name because I was watching Hello, the Spartans, the game. You know, they have a TV series for the game. So, you know, I'm a gamer. So, you know, when I watch that TV, they always say their team is Spartan. I said, okay, good name, easy to remember, and you know, means something. That's it.
Got it. Great. So this is Yifan, this is a little bit of a similar question to one asked earlier that you may have answered, but why do you think we need non-crypto public chains?
Okay, this is actually the fundamental question we need to answer. Is first, personally, I mean, the blockchain technology today is, you know, the best, you know, this kind of decentralized IT system we have. But personally, I don't like blockchain technology today because it's awkward, it's difficult to run, you know, it's too heavy. You know, it was designed to issue and trade crypto. Okay, but for traditional IT systems, it's really hard to use. Okay, but the concept, you know, basically the BSN project and the right day is promoting is actually not blockchain. It's called the public IT systems. Because today, this is actually the fundamental idea we try to promote, and we consider blockchain as one type of early stage of public chain, public IT systems operating system. Okay, it's a little bit long to explain. So what's public IT system is actually compared to all the IT systems today in the world called the private backend IT system. Okay, if you go to Facebook, that IT system is controlled by one company. It's their backend system. So if you put your personal information into it, it's controlled by that company. Okay, it's not controlled by you. So you basically put your asset or your data or your information or whatever you have into other people's house. Okay, So when you want to use it, you need to knock on their door, say, okay, please, Facebook, can I use my own data? They say no, then you have nothing, to do. So then, because right now, accept the blockchain, especially public chains, every single IT system is considered a backend private system. So AI actually is cause a lot of problems, like privacy, personal data, and also it's very awkward, to communicate. Let's say, for example, Swift. Swift actually is the traditional IT system, which is very, very close to a public IT system. Why? Like Swift, when 11,000 banks, they need to communicate with each other, you definitely don't want to build like 11,000 APIs to connect to each of the bank, between two banks. It's just impossible. Then there's this kind of IT system called Swift. You don't need to connect to any banks. You just plug into one gateway, you begin to talk with all the banks. That's actually one concept of public IT system. But Swift is not. Why? It's controlled still by one company. Then that company's backend system. So there's several very, very nice benefits for public IT system. For the first one, transparency. Just like public chains, when I create a NFT, I cannot only, verify the NFT is mine through the platform I create the NFT. I can go to other platforms through third party to verify the same thing. That's called transparency. Okay, because for any back-end system, even the government's back-end system, sometimes they call that public IT system. I don't call them. It's a government's back-end system, which means you cannot verify the data within their system through third party. Because it's their private system, whatever API they provide is through them. They can change anything they want through the APIs. Okay, so that's why the public IT system will be a really, really, really new concept on the internet. That's actually personally, I think there will be two layers on the internet. One is a public layer, one is a private layer. So for public IT systems, the blockchain, the public chain is the best operating system today to support that kind of public IT system. So that's why, I answered this question too long. I already forgot what question it is. Okay, so but that's basically the whole reason. We want to build the public IT system, and we start from the public chain concept. But the public chain right now is too heavy, right? I mean, for example, our DDC network inside China right now have more transactions in Ethereum, after 4 months. Why? Because traditional IT systems have much, much more requests than crypto application alone. So which means for the Spartan network, personalizing in 6 months, we will have like 10 times of the requests and transactions on Ethereum. Can those public chain framework support that? I don't think so. I think they will crash all the time, and we need to work with several teams to make them better and better. Eventually, become IT infrastructure supports all kind of IT system scenarios and processes.
Yifan, a related question: when people think about, they hear the term public IT system, right? And then they think about, they hear people talk about, putting personal data in a public IT system. It almost sounds like, oh, okay, if I put it in a public IT system, then everyone in the world will have access to it. Can you explain that?
Okay. Very good question. Yeah, sometimes I just begin my own thought. Forgot how people receive those the terms. The public IT system means like a park, like a public space. It's within this public space you can, which means when you go there, you don't need any private company or government's permission to enter those public space. But within the public space is still a IT structure, IT architecture, which means you can build, for example, for personal data, I can I can bet, okay, not $1 million, but $100,000 with anyone. In 20 years, there will be some country to pass legislations prohibiting personal data stored into private systems, like the European Union. They definitely will do that, okay? Because right now they have the GDPR, right? The law basically said if any end user want to delete their personal data from a private system, then you have to do it. I think in 20 years, there will be laws basically say you cannot store personal data into your backend system. Then the question is where those personal data go. It should be on a public IT system, and you can build a personal vault there. And this vault you will be controlled. For example, if you build a personal vault on public chain today, you don't use other people's smart contract. You actually deploy a smart contract based personal vault by yourself with your smart contract to control that smart contract, with your own private key to control that smart contract, and smart contract become a data vault. And you can put all your data into it. Okay, you all the passwords if you're still using them, and all your IDs, all your facial recognition data, fingerprints, everything, all the IDs, then it will be encrypted, and in the whole world only you can access because you have the key. But the thing is, because you are still using like 200 different websites. Okay, when you log in those websites, no longer those websites go to their private database to verify who you are. They actually go to your personal vault, because everybody goes to one single vault. Okay, you don't need to manage like 200 different vaults. You just go to your vault, and most times they just want to verify who you are. It's very easy. Give them, a verification. Or they want to compare your facial recognition data, give them a yes or no answer. If you answer no, they don't have your data. Okay, so that should be the setup in 20 years. It's and we can put all our money, our digital assets, wherever relate to your personal, the data you just store there, and all the system in the world will connect to the vault, and no longer their database inside their private system, and you have the only key. Of course, there will be some kind of law passed also in 20 years. For example, in some countries, they say, okay, you need to have some kind of KYC based on this kind of vault. Then the police know, can at least still manage those people. But a different country will have different set of laws. Yeah.
Okay, great. Another question is, how is the BSN Spartan Network a decentralized network? And why can the non-crypto chains on the network be called public chains? So how is it, I guess the most important question, how is it decentralized?
Okay, first, because the Spartan Network, the non-crypto public chains support the traditional IT systems, not only crypto. So consider, do not use this kind of crypto kind of mindset to consider it. So first, this is actually one of the fundamental questions. How decentralized the non-crypto public chain is. First, is less decentralized than the crypto public chain, because that's why they have crypto. Okay, so for example, one type of attack called the 51, attack to the network, it become too expensive to execute. If you don't have crypto like the Spartan network, then people can spend a little bit of money and then control 51% of the validator nodes and change everything. They can even change the whole network from non-crypto to a crypto. Okay, so then for the Spartan network, we try to make this as decentralized as possible, but we still need to consider the risk. So first, everybody can set up phone nodes or archive nodes wherever they want. Okay, so which means this is not something you need to log into a centralized system and do things. You can just download the source codes, compile it and install in your local cloud, but only phone nodes and archive nodes. Okay, for the validator nodes, we actually manage within the BSN Foundation, which we register in, which means there will be eventually like 40 international companies setting up 40 different validator data centers, basically do the validating. Of course, they get 1/3 of the revenue from the whole network. Okay, the gas income, 1/3 go to them. People will say, okay, 40 of them. Okay, even with a large, company name like the top 20 tech companies in the world, but people say, okay, it's not decentralized. It's not truly, it's only 40 validator nodes. But I just want to emphasize this. Right now, the largest IT system in the world called AWS. Okay, there's millions of companies put the entire data into AWS. It's controlled by one company. So, and to be honest, I don't even think that right now the public chain are truly decentralized, because I think 95% of all the nodes it's hosted by AWS, Google, and Microsoft. Those three companies can shut down 95% of all public chains. but if we truly in 2 years we get 40 re-owned company to set up the validator node for Spartan Network, it's already the largest decentralized IT systems in the world. Okay, that's our goal. We try to be as decentralized as possible. But of course, if one day we can solve the 51% attack problem, then we can truly make this, everybody can set up a validator node. For example, one day when we have enough amount of business, then the stake become too very high for most people. Then, as long as they, pledge, a certain amount of fair money, then they can set up a validator nodes. If we can realize the return on that investment, let's say 15%, then I think people willing to put it into the money, pledge the money into, some bank, fair money, or just, central bank digital currency, then, they run a validator node freely, as long as they put that kind of money in and enjoy a 10% to 15% return. Then that's, that's the thing will involve, in the future.
Okay. So that there was actually another question related to that, which is without public chains that integrate cryptocurrencies in layer 1, the cost of hacking a hacker attack is very low. So how do we ensure data safety on the BSN Spartan network?
First, a Spartan network is a network. We still integrate the public chains, the very mature public chains like Ethereum, like Cosmos. Even we are talking with companies like Polygon, try to so we don't actually build those public chains. It's a fork of the existing mature public chains, and it's open source. No matter what we change there, people can see the difference, spend like 2 minutes, compare all the codes, they know where we change. So another we change is the professional team to change. So basically how secure, what's the security level? It's just like Ethereum, it's no difference.
Okay. How can ordinary people, how will they be able to participate in and be involved in the network when it's governed by these large companies in the BSN Foundation? How do ordinary people get involved?
They can't, because it's just like the internet. It's a Spartan network. It's a infrastructure level IT infrastructure. So whoever uses the network is a tech person. Okay, it's not ordinary person. For example, 99% of the entire population in the world never use the internet. What they are using is called applications. They don't care about how the data is stored, how the data passing from one server to another server, how the data reaching their phones, how that is encrypted. Nobody cares. Okay, and they never even use the internet. Most people never even use the internet. So Spartan is like the fundamental internet. If you want to build an application on Spartan, you need to be a technical person or tech company. For example, there's no ordinary people using AWS. because even they register the account, log in and say, okay, I couldn't even read the menu. It's basically too technical for people even to understand. So Spartan Network is for the tech people and the tech company to build their decentralized application. The end user will use applications, not Spartan.
So if I'm a tech company and I wanted to build an application on the BSN Spartan or services, how would I do that? Where would I go to get the software?
Yeah, go to GitHub, search BSN Spartan, or just go to our official website, which we don't have the domain name yet. So public BSN Foundation. It's but they can get the source code, and of course we give them the package. They can directly install them, but we suggest them to go through the coding if they can read some codes to compare those non-crypto public chain codes with the Ethereum code, same version. Okay, just see what's the difference if they are able to do it. And we recommend they compile those source codes by themselves. They know how the binary, how that is compiled, then install by themselves into their local environment. Then there's will be have a developer's menu, how they can register. Remember, Spartan will be total anonymous, which means you just put an email address. Any email address is fine. You after register, then you can begin to basically through the APIs, everything begin to use those public chains. It's basically just like Ethereum. Just the wallet is no longer a ETH wallet. It's a gas wallet paid by the fiat money.
Okay, so if I'm again, I'm a tech company, I want to build on the BSN Spartan network, I can go up to GitHub or the BSN Foundation landing page and download the software. You mentioned that there are fiat-based gas fees rather than crypto. How would a tech company pay those gas fees?
Okay. First, when you set up a data center, we don't call that nodes. Okay, on Spartan Network, we call that data center because inside the data center, you can set up multiple nodes. Okay, you can set up one node for non-crypto Ethereum and one node for non-crypto Polygon, or two nodes for non-crypto Ethereum. We don't care. Okay, but you can set up multiple nodes. Then you will have address for the data center. It's called a data center owner's key or address. Then you can actually just go to your local landing page. You don't even need to go to our foundation page. After you install everything, there's a local landing page. Then you go there. There's payment methods. We will support the credit card to pay for the gas actually. But remember the credit card is KYC based. So if you don't want to use KYC based, there will be second option to pay with USDC. So then you can go to USDC Ethereum, USDC our grant. Then you basically wire money to a specific USDC accounts with your chain accounts, with your data center address. Then we after the money in that account, we have some software to read that and top up your chain, your basic data center account. We call NTT account. Okay, non-tradable token. We still have a token. Sorry, we still have a token, but it's called NTT, non-tradable token, which means you pay the money. One NTT equals to $1 always. Then if you pay $10, we issue 10 NTT in your Spartan data center accounts. Okay, each data center only have one NTT account. Then you can use this NTT accounts, by calling the APIs on the data center to move that NTT to any chain accounts on those non-crypto public chain. Okay, so it will then convert into the gas. We call that a gas unit. Then you can use those gas units to execute any kind of transaction on those chains.
So Yifan, we're going to move to some questions from the audience here. And for those of you in the audience who have questions, please use the Q&A feature of Zoom and type in your questions. The first question is, why blockchain as a protocol? There are other protocols out there that don't have cryptocurrency, so why blockchain?
First, in order to build this kind of, public IT system, remember it's a public IT system. It needs to be decentralized, which means, if you say, we need that to be total transparent, and we need it's not controlled by, one company, two company, so for the public IT system, besides blockchain technology, I don't know what is, suitable for that. Of course, I think in next year we will actually launch something is beyond blockchain. Okay, for example, one thing I really want to get rid of from blockchain is called consensus. Okay, personally, I think why the blockchain is so slow, couldn't handle a lot of transactions, is because consensus. But remember, in order for the data set, the the data sets to need to be, reach a consensus, it's just fit, suitable for a very small number of IT process. Most of the IT process, I just, broadcast the data. That's it. Make sure everybody receives the data. Everybody know other people receive the data. After receiving the data, do your own process. You can put it into your Oracle. You can just delete them. You can just throw them away. Nobody cares. So we actually next year we will launch some, much lighter, protocols. We probably even take out the smart contract. Then people say, okay, without smart contract, without the consensus, is that called gossip? The broadcasting part is too heavy. It's still way too heavy. So actually, the best scenario we think is there will be something like HTTP kind of protocol. HTTP handle communication between two points, right? We need something like HTTP to handle multiple points just for communication. Then we need to have different virtual machines. If you need, to run some kind of, smart contract scripts, then you have different, the smart contract you can plug in. Then you say, okay, I still, for our business requirement, we still need the rich consensus. Then you plug in the consensus. Then if you say, we need some kind of consensus is even on our network, we have 1 million different IT systems, but we can, reach consensus in a small portion of the 1 million people, like two people, 3 people, or up to like 1,000 people. Then you have this kind of partial consensus, make them to make sure everything works. So there's a lot in this totally empty space. Okay, there's nothing, something mature is out there. If you know something I don't know, send the information to us. We want to start study them. It's really something we are we trying to do in next 10 years. Right now it's just very early. So early, nobody, most people don't even understand what we're trying to do.
Next question from our audience: what kind of services does the BSN Spartan provide?
First, we don't. What we provide is basically what Ethereum will provide. Okay, so basically, there's if no one building any kind of services or application on top of that, there's no services we can offer. What we offer is just a chain environment, for people to build services. Of course, it's during the launch we try to have more, as many applications, even for POC purpose. We try to showcase like 20 different applications and services. Of course, one of them is we try to also working with our partners to launch a stablecoin, on a non-crypto public chain. So the difference with USDC, USDT is gasless. Okay, it's gasless because there's no crypto, so it's gasless, which means you can just plug in, use $10 just pay each other without using any gas. So that's one of the POC we will do during the launch, so people can try, this kind of very easy digital currency, but it's still a US dollar pegged US stablecoin. It's not that kind of like a UST. Okay, it's more like a USDC. Yeah.
Another question from the audience. When you join a public chain, you'll be a consensus node and have the right to vote. Will every participant have the same right on the BSN Spartan network?
The validator node owner, they have exactly the same voting rights. Okay, so when we set up Spartan, probably in 6 months, we will open source, basically everything, even all the voting records. So people can see how many voting, validator nodes, there, who controls them, and all the voting results, and who votes yes, who votes no, who provides the proposal, everything. We try to build everything, transparent. Also, it's for example, we can adjust the NTT and the gas ratio, every quarter. But every time we only can increase like 20% or decrease 20%, just make sure that, the cost is pretty stable. So for that kind of voting, if the vote doesn't pass, the codes, doesn't get updated. So it's the voting actually is embedded with the chain operations. So that's something probably take 1 year or 2 years to become where we want to go. But that's our goal.
All right. So for participants in the audience, if you have questions.
Vivian said the company is just going to burn money, nothing going to happen within 10 years. It's going to happen in 3 months. Okay. And we never actually burn money. we're working with, that's why when you're building something, you build in the spring of the public chains. You don't build everything alone. You are working with partners. I think in total, team, we are talking with almost more than 50 companies, very large companies right now. And I think most of them is very supportive. We actually building something together. It's even harder than burn money. Okay. But I think in 3 months, everybody can see what will happen. And in 1 year, you will see there will be more traffic and more transactions than all the public chains combined together.
Next question is, do you think the Spartan will be the future of Web3?
First, this is actually a very good question. First, I don't agree with the term, Web3, because right now the Web3 is heavily rely on crypto. Okay, because of the ownership, stuff, and I think the concept of Web3, if you take our entire crypto, is the public IT system concept. Okay, so right now, personally, I think if the Web3 is Web3, the concept that has the same direction as the Spartan Network and the concept of public IT system, we have the same direction, but we use different way to reach that direction. One through the crypto world, one through its traditional IT services procedure. But personally, I think the final goal is the same.
Oh, we have one more question just came in. Hi, I'd like to know more about how the public IT system should be deployed. You rightly mentioned how currently most existing crypto chains are deployed on AWS, Google, and Azure. So what is the future realistically for where those public IT systems will be deployed?
Really good question. I love this question. Okay, whoever answered Dana, it's really understand the whole technology. What we're trying to build is the data center of Spartan Network is so large. We hope you can install into your PC. So that's a goal. But also after we launch, we will integrate them into the AWS, Google, and the Microsoft marketplaces. So you can go there. If you trust our binary file, you can just click a button and deploy on AWS or Microsoft. Then you can just connect to the instance and basically use those services. But we hope one day actually you just deploy those non-crypto public chains nodes is so light, it's actually can be deployed on the on your personal computer. Then you when you run some personal kind of application, because I think in the future many applications won't be run by big corporations. It should be run on your PC, powerful PC. It's just for your personal to use. To manage your own data, manage your own money. So it should be, then it should be accessed from your PC to data, to center on your PC, and this data center, then connect to the whole network. That's why hopefully we will have like public IT system so big, it's like 1 billion people on. So in the future, of course, right now, how many people we can support on non-crypto Ethereum? Probably 100 people at the same time. So we have long way to go.
Very good. Once again, thank you all for attending. And if you have interest or more questions about the BSN Spartan Network, please contact us on our social media channels, or you can also find a website and contact information on www.reddatetech.com. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.